So if you're just joining me, gather up all your goodies that you want to have for your class, regular yoga props if you have them. I have this little folded chair. If you want to have a chair nearby for our seated postures, you're always welcome to use that. Pillows, all different shapes and sizes. And I do want you to either have a yoga strap, a scarf, or you can take a bath towel and just roll it up. So we'll do some shoulder work with these things later on in our class. So again, thank you all so much for joining me, for all of your patience through all of this. We appreciate you and miss all of you. And a really big thank you to Jonathan and Adeep and everyone else behind the scenes, Vicki too, probably, for making all this happen. So we really appreciate it. They did update their website, so if you go to austinyogatree.com, you're able to buy 10 class passes and continue to support everyone that way. And they're just very grateful for all of you to continue with us, as I am as well. So we're going to get started. I'm going to have us start in a gentle heart opener. We've been doing this pose for a couple classes. I am teaching a couple other classes online, so I'm getting a little confused what I'm doing where, but I think I've done this one with you all too, I'm pretty sure. So if you want to take this extra little support for the heart, you'll want to take your blanket and have it be in a longer fold to start. So mine's folded up in this longer rectangular shape. And then I'm just going to start to roll it into my little blanket roll. So now it looks like this. You can also do that with your bath towel. Long ways, roll it on up. It'll be a more gentle little lift, but it'll still work. So you can have a little lift like this. And we're going to take our roll and place it perpendicular to your mat. So I'm lying it long ways across the short end of my mat. And I want to leave some space behind it for my head and my shoulders. And I want your roll to hit you just below your shoulder blades, not in the lumbar, not down here in the lower arch, not on your shoulders, but just below, because I want our shoulders to then fall back down onto the mat. And we will be cactusing our arms once we come down to the ground, so you'll have a 90-degree bend in your elbows and you'll let the backs of the hands fall back. We will place a pillow underneath our thighs, possibly as an additional support, so you'll have that ready. So coming down, I'm going to let my lower part of my shoulder blades fall off that blanket. So the shoulder should be touching the ground. And my neck is free here, so there's no pressure in the neck. I have my natural curve of my neck, head is to the floor. Your arm should be above that roll, right? Just right out from your shoulder. And then I'm bending my elbows at 90 degrees and allowing the backs of my hands to flop towards the floor. If the hands don't easily touch down, it's just tightness through the front of the chest and shoulders. Gravity will traction you out. You're also welcome to place books underneath the hands if that's more comfortable, or just adjust accordingly. Like everything we do in our practice, we all want to make our modifications and adjustments. Now take the pillow, if you like, underneath your thigh bones and stretch your legs out into Shavasana. If you want to add a hip opener, bring the soles of the feet to touch and let your knees fall open into Baddha Konasana. So I'm opening the chest and the heart, and I'm also allowing my knees to fall open. If you take care of your low back, just plant your feet to the floor, bend your knees up to the ceiling, and let your knees fall together. That will take pressure out of the back as well. So you'll take your time to get comfortable here. You will feel this lift through the front of the chest, shoulders dropping down to the ground. Rock your head out, move your ponytails out of the way. Find the very back center of your skull, adjust your clothing, your props, your surroundings, get nice and comfortable. And then once you're in position and you feel comfortable and settled, let's close our eyes and start redirecting our attention inward. Continue to make adjustments here in the beginning so that we can find stillness in the end. Loosen everything up. Beginning by taking a mental scan of our body this morning. So mentally moving through your whole body, starting from the crown of your head, working down to those fingertips and toes. As we're moving through our body, we're consciously letting go of any unnecessary tension or tightness we might find this morning. So soften all the muscles across the face, the forehead and brow. Poof the cheeks, wiggle out the mouth and the tongue. Allow the lower jaw to relax. Feel the weight of the arms flopping to the floor, from the shoulders to the elbows, elbows to the wrists and the backs of the hands. Relax the fingertips. And enjoy this nice lifting and stretching through the chest and the heart. So this posture can also help improve our breathing as it stretches the muscles through the chest. We might find that we've been rounding a little bit more forward in our body, looking at our computers and doing other activities that way. So this pose really helps improve our posture, stretches those muscles. Relax down into the belly, the abdomen completely. Relax into that lower back. And same with the legs, just allow the weight of the legs to flop towards the floor, from the hips to the knees, knees to ankles. Relax the feet and all of the toes. As we're taking some mental inventory of our body and ourselves this morning, anything that we come across today that needs a little extra TLC or healing, let's pause on those areas in ourselves. Send a nice healing breath into them. And as we exhale, allow all those areas to relax. Remembering that we practice our yoga with ahimsa, or non-violence to ourselves and our bodies. We also practice santosha, which means contentment. So bringing in the element of acceptance and contentment from where we are today. Continue to let the whole body relax as we spread our awareness now to the rhythm of the breath. Simply observe and watch the body breathe in. And observe and watch the body breathe out. Breathing as smoothly and evenly in and out through the nose. Observe any subtle movement of the body with the breath. The expansion on the inhales, the contraction on the exhales. Maybe noticing subtle sounds that the breath makes in the body, or a more intentional sound, adding ujjayi pranayama, the gentle contraction in the base and back of the throat. Notice the flow of the breath, left nostril to right nostril. We often have one side that's a little bit more open than the other. Ideally, those openings switch about every hour and a half throughout our day, from the right side being more dominant to the left side. But we're just observing without judgment, simply acting as a witness, looking from the outside in. And we'll deepen this breath a little bit, practicing a 3-part pranayama. We'll just mentally and energetically start to move this breath a little differently in the body. So on your next inhale, I want you to relax the abdomen completely. Allow it to expand and rise. Continue to inflate the chest, the rib cage stretches, all the way up into the throat. And then on the next exhale, we empty the body from the top to the bottom. So you'll soften the throat, soften the chest, and draw the belly in towards the body, exhaling completely. On our inhale, we breathe into the belly first, allow it to expand. The rib cage expands all the way up to the brim. In the throat, fill yourself up completely. On the exhale, we empty everything back out. Soften the throat, the chest, belly draws into the body, expelling all the stale old air and energy out. Continue with this 3-part breath if it's comfortable. Rolling the breath in and out of the body like a wave, rolling in and out from the ocean. Over time, we might even expand and lengthen that breath, adding 1 or 2 counts to both the inhale and exhale. Just with the body, we don't ever force or strain the breath, just let it grow naturally. And then let's all take 1 more cycle of breath. And let this breath be our biggest breath of our morning yet. So on our next inhale, we'll just try to expand and fill ourselves up all the way to the maximum, breathing in that fresh air, prana, and energy into ourselves. And that exhale is just as important to clean everything back out. And on this exhale, letting go of any stress, any worries you might have been carrying around mentally, physically, emotionally. Exhale everything out. At the bottom of that exhale, we'll let go of trying to follow and control the breath for a moment. So just let it go wherever it wants. Start to notice and feel the physical body again, relaxed on the floor and on your props, the opening through the chest and the heart. Start to wake the body up slowly, wiggle the toes, the fingertips, a gentle rock of the head side to side. If your knees are open in Baddha Konasana, float your knees up. Let's all stretch the legs out into Shavasana. And then just extend your arms overhead. So straighten your arms out, reaching towards the back of your yoga mat as far as you can. Point and flex your feet a couple times, spreading the toes, spreading the fingertips. Stretch your right side out a little bit more than your left. Stretch the left side a little bit more than your right. Big breath in, feel the whole body lengthen and stretch. On our exhale, you can leave the right arm where it is, bend your knees up, and then roll to your right side, bringing your left hand in front of the heart. Pause for a moment in our sleeping baby pose, head on the arm. And then press yourself up just enough to take your props out from underneath you. We are gonna lie right back down on the ground, but slide your folds, your rolls out and your pillows out. And then come right back down onto your back. Adjust your shoulder blades down, adjust yourself and your clothing. Walk your feet in, hug your knees in, and let's massage our back for a moment. Bring the knees to neutral and extend both legs up into our gentle inversion waterfall pose. Really wonderful pose to practice every day, morning and night. Point and flex your feet, hold on to your thighs, even massage up and down those hamstring muscles. If the legs are tight and the knees are bent, that's okay. Just press your thigh bones forward into your hands and try to straighten them out as much as you can. Continue to draw the low belly in, low back is grounded here. Going right into a bigger stretch, so be mindful. Open your legs wide now into our Supta Konasana. Elbows to the floor, hands hold the weight of the legs from the outside. Roll your ankles a few times. For a deeper stretch, move your hands to the inside, massage those muscles, and allow gravity to stretch those inner thighs and groin muscles even more. Take a nice big breath in. On the exhale, we're gonna squeeze those legs back up to waterfall pose. Hug your knees in, float the nose up to the knees for a deeper stretch for the back. And then drop your feet flat to the floor close to your sit bones. Now open your feet a few inches so that your heels are more in line with your sit bones. Point your knees straight up to the ceiling and towards your toes. Those of you that have a pillow or yoga block, place it between your inner thighs. Draw your shoulder blades down and under. Head is in neutral, don't turn your head. We'll move into flowing bridge pose. Arms come down beside you for support. Squeeze your buttocks, squeeze the prop if you have it, and inhale, start to float your hips up towards the ceiling, stretching the front of the quads and the hips. On your exhale, lower the hips back down to the ground. Flowing Setu Bandhasana bridge pose. Inhale, engage the backside, stretch the front, turns into another gentle inversion. On your exhale, you're lowering. So no weight in the neck. When you lift up, all the weight moves into the meaty part of your shoulders. Gaze at one spot on the ceiling. Do activate the glutes and the back side of the body. Those of us that want to massage our shoulder blades on the muscles around the shoulders, inhale, hips up, arms reach up to the ceiling and overhead. Exhale, hips down, arms float down. So now we're massaging the upper back between the shoulders, warming up the shoulder girdle. Keeping the head and neck in neutral. When you lift up, especially as the body starts to warm up, you might start to go a little higher. The chest may move towards the chin, but avoid tucking the chin to the chest. Let's all flow through two more, whatever version you'd like to practice this morning. Really great pose to counter all the sitting we might be doing, stretching out the front of the hips and strengthening that back. The next time you lower down to the ground, we'll pause there. Take the prop out from between the thighs and just start to windshield wipe your knees side to side. Hug those knees back into the body, give your back a little stretch. Right arm beside the head, roll over to the right. Supta Balasana, sleeping baby. Pause for a moment, head on the arm. Take the left hand to the floor, look down and press down to push our body up to our seat. So, you know, if you come to my class, I like to do our spinal movements every class. And this is great to do first thing in the morning. You're welcome to sit to the edge of your chair if you have one, or sit up on your yoga block or your pillows. I have this nice little handy meditation cushion I use. So chair or some type of support underneath your sit bones. Take your seat, Sukhasana, easy cross, a Siddhasana, heel to heel, any other position that works. Adjust yourself, get comfortable, find those sit bones, remove any flesh or muscles out of the way to sit up tall. Do draw in through that low belly so that you're lifting and lengthening through the front of your spine and lifting and lengthening through the back of the spine. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Arms will extend out beside us, palms up. Take another big breath in as you reach up. The chin can float up, but keep your neck long. As you exhale, turn your palms out, fingertips reach and extend down to the floor. Chin may drop to chest, but lift your chest up to the chin. Don't sink the chest in. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, reach down. Stretch out the root of the neck, look down. One more. One more time, inhale those arms all the way up to the ceiling. Bring your palms together, exhale, hands to heart. Interweave all 10 fingers. As you exhale, flip your palms forward. Now you may round and stretch out the back. So I am pulling my front body in, splaying my shoulder blades, stretching out the upper back, letting go of any tension, tightness in there. On the inhale, your pelvis tips forward, your arms float up, and now you're lengthening and stretching up through the spine. Stretch out the shoulders. Exhale, tuck and round. Roll your spine over an invisible beach ball. Really wonderful pose to get rid of tension in the back. Inhale, improve your posture. Sit up tall, draw the head of those arm bones back. Good, one more, seated cat-cow with your breath. Inhale, reach up. We'll meet here, stretching, stretching, stretching. Open your hands up. And exhale, release the arms back down beside you. Give me a nice big shoulder roll. Those of us sitting cross-legged, switch up the cross of your legs, opposite foot in front. Reestablish your sit bones here. Lift and lengthen through the spine. So we'll take a seated twist here. Keep this length. There's no rounding in the spine when you twist. You want to stay tall. Right fingertips may float behind you. Lift your left palm up to the ceiling and slide your knuckles over towards the opposite knee. And then breathe in, lengthen, and as you exhale, start to rotate. So you're rotating the vertebra, pulling your right shoulder blade back. The head and neck may follow, so you can peek behind you, stretch your eyes out here. Let the breath flow. On the inhale, create space. On the exhale, maybe move a little bit further into that space. Big breath in. Hold the twist in your body. As you exhale, turn just your head to look forward, just the head, and then try to peek over your left shoulder. So this is a nice counter twist for the neck and the shoulders. So body's twisting to the right, head is looking to the left. Both your sit bones are rooted, lower bandos are lifting. Big breath in. And on the exhale, release. Head and body unwind. Inhale, both arms up to recenter. Exhale, float your fingertips back to the floor. So same thing on the other side. Left fingertips will start to float behind you. You may even put a book or something behind you. Don't lean into that hand. Flip your left palm up to the ceiling and then try to slide the knuckles over towards your opposite knee. Keep that length. On the exhale, you can start to rotate vertebra by vertebra up through the mid-back. Your thoracic spine does the twisting. So between the shoulder blades, gently up through the head and neck. Stretch your eyes out and peek behind you. Give them a nice big stretch this morning. One more big breath in. On the exhale, just the head looks forward. And then you may try to look over your right shoulder, counter twisting the head and neck. And you can look slightly down. That will stretch more of the back of the neck. Just kind of experiment with that. Big breath in. On the exhale, release the head. Release the body back to center. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, fingertips to the floor. So one more movement for our spine. We've done the flexion, extension, and rotation. Now lateral extension. Inhale, right arm up. Keep your sit bones rooted, belly in. Exhale, lean it over to your left. So the more you can actually push your right hip down, the more you'll stretch out your right side. So you're pulling your ribs away from the rim of your hips, opening the side body. Head is just a natural extension of your spine. Let the breath keep flowing here. So this is a lateral plane that we're moving in side to side. If you want to add a little flexion and extension, you can. So a little bit more for the back and the shoulders. You bow towards your opposite knee and reach slightly forward out of that right shoulder blade. Or we spiral our heart open, more heart opening, chest expansion, drishti moves up to the ceiling. And you're welcome to kind of explore, figure out which one feels good and nice and yummy for our back. Maybe it's a combination of all of that. But do make sure you're drawing up your pelvic floor muscles, Mula Bandha, and Uddiyana Bandha, your lower abs, to protect that low back. Your next inhale is going to pull you out of the pose. So you got to inhale, use your muscles, bring both arms straight up to the ceiling. We'll meet here. Lengthen up both sides. Exhale, float the fingertips to the ground. Inhale, left arm up. Stay rooted and then lean over to your right. So it's like sliding along an invisible wall, and you stay in this nice lateral plane. Sit bones, equal weight, bandhas lifted, and just try to stretch your waist, your rib cage all the way up, even through the crown of the head. And then experiment with that little bit of flexion, bowing to the opposite knee, reaching forward, see how that feels. Rolling the heart and chest upwards to the ceiling, pulling the arm back. One side can feel a little different, and maybe this side needs something different, right? So if you habituate your body in a certain way and you're more dominant in one hand, one side's going to do more work than the other throughout your day. So always accommodate your body. It's not about doing things exactly the same side to side. It's about trying to bring our sides back to balance. That feels good. All right, your next inhale pulls you up. Use your muscles. We'll meet here. Take your time. Reach and lengthen the whole body, upper body. Exhale, float your fingertips to the floor. Big shoulder roll. Good job. All right, let's move to our tabletop so we can get the whole body moving. Walk forward over your legs, or just give your legs a quick wiggle. And then readjust yourself on your mat so you're in your tabletop pose. Spread those fingers nice and wide and have your hands as broad as your shoulders, even slightly wider. Your hands should not be underneath your chest. You need to open them up. And your arms should be nice and strong, not just locked out. So I really want you pushing the ground away from you. Thighs perpendicular. Have a little bit of space between those knees and those feet so they're hips width apart. Use your core to help neutralize the spine and extend the crown of the head forward. Keep your low back and your hips level. Stretch your right foot back behind you to the ground. You may shift your weight back through that heel as much as you want to stretch out the back of your leg. Draw the right knee back down. Stretch your left foot back. Keep everything else nice and balanced and equal. The weight in your hands. Be mindful of where your head is in space. Bring that left knee down. Inhale, right leg stretches back. More core, strengthen and squeeze your right buttock to hover your right leg parallel to the floor. Nice active right foot. Add that left arm, reach it forward, palm in, thumb up. So spinal integration, this is a balancing pose. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, release, hand and knee down. There should not be a big shift in the body whatsoever if you're really engaging the core. Stretch your left foot back. Squeeze your left side to lift the left leg up parallel to the floor. Flex that foot, super active. Right arm reaches forward, palm in, thumb up. This is a balancing pose. Be mindful of a nice, smooth, even breath. Big breath in. Exhale, hand and knee down, tabletop. Fingertips or fist for wrists at any time. So Hasta Bandha, you round through your knuckles and ground the fingertips down, or strong punching fists underneath your shoulders. Flow through a couple cat-cows with your breath. The inhale normally takes you into extension, so I'm lengthening from the tail to the crown. The exhale scoops and rounds the back up, tucking the tailbone and the chin. And let your breath guide you in and out of this pose. You can concentrate more on the hip movement, maybe more between the shoulders, the back of the heart, and the front of the heart. And you can add little lateral movements, whatever feels good. Let's bring it back to neutral. Come off our hands in our first child's pose. Go to whatever child's pose you want. Wide knee child's pose, always a nice option. Knees wider than your hips, toes touching, drawing your hips to your heels, melting the belly, the heart, and the head to the floor. Keep the hands as wide as your yoga mat if you have a lot of tension in your shoulders. If the head doesn't touch the ground, place your hands, arms, or a yoga prop under the forehead. Those of you taking care of knees, a rolled towel behind the knees is a nice way to take pressure off the knees, or simply keep your hips higher up and rest on your forearms. We'll pause for a breath or two here. Breathe into the back of your body. And on the next inhale, body's going to float back up. So you'll need to rearrange yourself so you're back in your tabletop. Moving into thread the needle pose. We've been doing this one as well. Some of you might want to have a pillow ready for the side of your head when we come into this pose. So starting your tabletop, still nice strong core here. On your inhale, float the right arm out and up. We will come down onto the right shoulder and the right ear. So as you exhale, you thread the right hand behind your left wrist. You look to the left, bringing your weight down onto the right shoulder and ear. This is where you might want a pillow underneath the head if the head doesn't easily come to the ground. So I'll go through our options, but if you already know what thread the needle pose you want to do, by all means, go for it. One option is to walk your left hand forward to the front of your mat and then drop your left shoulder further down in front of the face. Left hand can come onto the left hip, or you can bind your left arm behind you across your low back and tuck your fingertips into your right hip crease. And then there's that balancing element, but this is a pose that's easy to fall out of, so you need to make sure you're in a safe space. If you want to try the balance, you bring your left foot off the long edge of your mat and then slide the leg out so that it's extended at an angle. Left arm can then reach up to the ceiling, palm faces forward. That will put more pressure on the right side, which is the side we're stretching. Big breath in. On the exhale, we need to reverse out of the pose same way we went into it. So bring the knee down, the hand down. Your left arm does the work. So push your left hand into the floor, look down, slide your right arm out and up. Exhale, tabletop, fingertips, fist for wrist at any time. Take a couple of your cats and your cows to neutralize the spine. Same thing, other side. Inhale, left arm reaches out and up. Exhale, thread it behind the right wrist. You're coming onto your left shoulder and left ear. Low belly should still be pulling in so that you're protecting your back. Stay here or walk your right hand forward, drop the right shoulder down. Or bring your right hand to hip. Half bind it around the low back. Try to tuck your fingertips into the left hip crease. Stay there or practice your balance. Right foot moves off to the long edge of the yoga mat, and then you straighten the leg out into a balance. There's other versions as well, so anything you want to experiment with at home. Oh, right arm can also reach up to the ceiling. Big breath in. On the exhale, right hand down where it started, knee in, push down to float the head and the left arm out and up. Exhale, tabletop, cat-cow a couple times, get everything back where it needs to be. And then move your hands slightly forward, tuck your toes under, draw the low belly in. We'll float it up and back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Another great pose to do, especially first thing in the morning, get some blood flowing towards the heart and the head. Fingers are nice and wide, pedal your heels, one heel at a time, bending opposite knees. So to help set the shoulders and keep those shoulders open and the neck loose, inward rotation through your hands, so press down through the mound of the index finger and thumb. External rotation in your upper arm bones, so roll your upper arm bones out and down, away from your ears. So you're tracking your shoulder blades down the back, elongate the side bodies. Let the head float between those upper arm bones. Do round in that low belly, drawing belly to thighs and pressing your thighs towards the back of your mat. Tight hamstrings and low back, just bend your knees more, no problem. Doesn't matter if the heels touch the ground or not. You're still getting a big body stretch and a nice inversion. Let's all take one more breath. Always an option to drop back down to tabletop or child's pose. On the inhale, look forward. Baby step walk, feet to hands, hands to feet, forward fold, Uttanasana. Modification for low backs, bend your knees deeply, place your elbows on your thighs. Or loosey-goosey your arms, your head, let them dangle towards the ground, releasing tension and tightness out of the neck and shoulders. Try to straighten those legs out. You can prance your legs, again, bending one knee at a time, trying to get a big stretch that way. And let's do a little strengthening for the upper back and between the shoulders. So shoulder tension is not only because we round forward, but sometimes it's just weak muscles back there in our posture. So on our inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins, pull your shoulder blades together, lift your chest, extend the crown of the head forward. You're trying to iron and flatten out your back. Exhale, fold. Especially if you have that rounding through your upper back, really great pose. Inhale, halfway lift. If you want more, bring your arms beside your torso, palms face in, kiss those shoulder blades. Exhale, fold. Two more. Inhale, concentrate on the upper back, squeeze and strengthen those muscles. Exhale, fold. And one more. Inhale, halfway lift, squeeze. Exhale, sit back to Utkatasana, arms reach forward and up. If your feet are parallel to each other, your knees should be pointing straight towards your toes. Bring your hands to your heart. Relax your shoulders. Belly in, chest lifts up. Little balance, focus your gaze. Make sure you're in a safe space. Hover your right foot from the floor. Bring it down. Try your left foot, lifting it up. Bring it down, sink a little further down, nice strong Utkatasana. And then on our inhale, you're gonna stretch everything up to the ceiling. So release your arms down, out and wide, straighten your legs. Extended mountain, lift, 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 inhale, inhale. Turn your palms out, exhale, float your arms down. Good, so let's do a little bit more balance here. You can keep your feet parallel. This is just a simple balance pose, but it can be challenging, does work our brain. So feet parallel, nice strong legs, pull in through your lower locks. As you inhale, re-extend your arms up to the ceiling. This time lift your heels up. Bring your palms together, and as you exhale, you lower your heels and your hands back to your heart. Keep going. The inhale reaches out and up, tippy toes. Exhale, lower down. Try two more with your breath. Get up as high as you can, strengthen those lower legs, ankles, and feet. One more. Once you come down, relax for a moment and go ahead and grab your strap or your scarf or your rolled towel. So I want you to have a nice long something to hold on to. So strap, scarf, or rolled up towel. And it's gotta be as wide, almost as your wingspan here, not quite as long, but. And if you don't have anything, that's okay. You'll just do the movement free. And I'm gonna kneel down, but you all are in standing. So in your standing legs, I still want you to have super strong Tadasana legs. So pick up those toes, avoid jamming your knees back, pull up your quads, pull up through your pelvic floor, so Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha. I want you super strong through the lower half of your body. And then take your prop and open your hands. You can start wider, and then you can always go a little narrower. I'm just kneeling so you can see me, but once we start doing it, you know what we're doing. So on your inhale, you're gonna start to lift your strap up overhead. The only place I have natural flexibility is actually in my shoulders, so I'm gonna bring it a little bit behind me because that feels good for my chest. But don't force or strain this. You do not want to impinge your shoulders, okay? And then on your exhale, you'll lower it back down. We're gonna do this several times so our muscles can kind of open. On the inhale, lift it up as far back as it feels good for your chest. I don't want you overarching your low back though, so keep lengthening that lower buttock down and drawing your core in, and then as you exhale, you'll bring it down. Now look, some of us might be able to lift it up, and you can stay in your standing position. You don't have to be kneeling. I'm only kneeling so I'm in the screen. That's up to you, yeah. And on the exhale, bring it down. So I'm starting to go a little all the way down behind me, rolling through that shoulder. If one shoulder doesn't want to do it, you gotta stop where that shoulder tells you to stop, okay? Let's all try one more. Wherever you're going. Next time that strap comes down in front of you, take a quick break, wiggle out one arm, wiggle out the other, shake out your fingertips. You don't have to have a death grip on that strap, but just make sure it's relaxed. So nice wide grip again, this time standing. So strong feet, strong legs. I want you guys really work on those Tadasana legs. Inhale, bring the strap overhead. Slightly behind you, but don't overarch your low back. I don't want you collapsing. I really want you pulled and engaged so we can isolate and kind of work on the shoulders. As you exhale, you're gonna lean it over to your right side. So you're stretching the left, contracting the right. Inhale it up. Exhale to your other side. Strong feet, strong legs, strong core. Keep those abdominal muscles working. We're just trying to stretch out around the shoulders. And you'll just keep going side to side with your breath. You can do little head adjustments so you can look down towards the side that you're stretching towards. That might feel good for the head and neck. And again, let's pause. If you feel like one side is a little tighter, there's no reason why you can't hang out on that side a little longer. If it needs it, then give it to it. And if you feel like both sides need it, then just keep going side to side. So balance yourself out. You'll want to go one more time to your right. That's where we started. And one more time to your left. Once you balance yourself out, we'll bring the strap up. We'll exhale and take a quick break. Again, wiggle out your hands, loosey-goosey, your shoulders. So we're going to do one more movement here, and that's going to be back into that rotation. So really important that legs are super strong and sturdy. I want you rotating from the upper half, so from your mid-back up, not necessarily in the hips, okay? I want us more concentrating on those shoulders. So wide grip, inhale your arms up, keep some tension on your belt. Pull that low belly in. As you exhale, you're rotating through the shoulders. Look, my hips are not moving. I'm drawing one shoulder blade back, inhaling back to center, and then I'm twisting and rotating through the upper half of the body. I got my toes picked up, chin slightly forward, glutes engaged. Now the head and neck may follow, that's okay, but make sure you're really trying to twist to the upper body. We'll go one more time to our right. One more time to your left. Bring it back to center after you've balanced yourself out. Those of us that want, pull it back to whatever sweet spot you can find. You can lift the chin up slightly. So lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Stretch out the front of those shoulders and chest. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, bring it all the way back. Good job. Awesome. Okay, you can place your prop down, shake out your wrists. So this is an exercise. It's actually a Tai Chi movement, Qigong, grandmother of Tai Chi. And it's a nice way to improve circulation to your limbs and extremities. So again, you're standing nice and tall through the legs. You'll let your hips start to move in this one. So I really want you to noodle your arms. Let them just hang like spaghetti noodles. And then you're gonna start just rocking your body side to side. And if you're letting your hips turn, you just have to be careful of your knees. Don't torque your knees. So let the body kind of be loose. And then we try to speed this up a little bit. And you might get to the point, I'm gonna turn around so you can see, that your hands start flapping into your low back. And what this does is it stimulates your kidneys and your adrenal glands. So those arms, as you let them swing around, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Kind of giving yourself a little punching massage back there. Great thing to do first thing in the morning, get your circulation going. And then you just start to slow it down until you just kind of eventually come back to a loosey-goosey noodle position. All right, how are we doing on time? All right, so let's come back, since we've moved ourselves around a little bit, towards the front of your mat into a nice traditional mountain pose Tadasana. Super strong feet, root through them onto your big toes and inner heels, mound your pinky toes, outer heels. Unlock those knees, pull up through the muscles in the quads, pull up through Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Extend your fingertips out and away from your shoulders, and just float your head nice and light on top of the shoulders. Hold for a moment, take a breath. Our next inhale, flip your palms out, reach it up. You may have a little gentle back bend just by gazing up to your thumbs, extended mountain. On your exhale, micro bend your knees, hinge from your hips, and sweep your arms back out and down to your forward fold. As far as you want to go. I modify my forward fold, especially first thing in the morning. My body doesn't quite move yet. So I'm keeping my hands on my thighs and then just dangling one arm at a time. But those of you that are ready to ragdoll or go further into Uttanasana, go for it. Inhale, one more nice halfway lift. So lift your chest, extend the spine, strengthen your upper back. Good. You can use those arms if you want. Exhale, bend your knees. We'll all plant our hands down to the ground and take a big step back into Chaya nose, our plank pose. So, plank position. We're going to hold plank for several breaths. You may be in kneeling plank, but you're still just as engaged through the core. Tailbone lengthening towards your heels. Spread your fingers. Hands should be as wide as your shoulders. Too much on the wrist, drop down to forearm plank on your forearms. Now be mindful of where your head is. Your head wants to hang because it's heavy. Your hips should be in line with your shoulders and your heels if you're in full plank. And smile and think happy thoughts and how much your pets, if you have them, love this pose because they love to run underneath you. Keep breathing, push through the knuckles of those fingertips. Squeeze the buttocks, compact your hips. We're almost there. Pull in through that low belly, super strong. Feel that strength in the shoulders, the abs. We're shaking, we're quivering. We can do this. Give me one more big breath in. Big breath out. On your inhale, hips up. Exhale, down and back, downward facing dog or any other resting pose. Good job. Got to do a plank every day too. So much we got to do. It's all preventative medicine. We do it now so we'll be better later. mind, body, and spirit. Down dog people, pedal your heels out, stretch out your whole back. Make sure you're pulling your shoulder blades down your back. Inhale, lift those heels up as high as you can. Stretch out your toes and the soles of your feet. And then let's all drop all the way down to the ground and back into our child's pose. Maybe keep the knees together this time. Sweep your hands to your feet. Try to bow the head to the floor from here. That will help release the arms and your wrists. Take a hold of one wrist across your low back for another version. And then just let the weight of the arms hang beside the body. Take a breath. And then stretch your hands back forward, spread your fingers. Inhale, bring the body back up to tabletop. You can stretch back one leg at a time to get the blood flowing through those knees from child's pose. Your choice. You're gonna either come back to kneeling or full plank. And on your exhale, you'll bend your elbows back and lower the body towards the ground. We're gonna come all the way into our bellies. You can take a chaturanga here, hovering, and then lower onto your belly. Relax your feet for a moment. You can turn your toes in, heels out. Place your forearms underneath your temple or your forehead and just wiggle the hips out. Take a belly breath. So we're getting into this really big, wonderful shoulder pose, maybe. It's pretty intense, so you'll just modify as needed. Sometimes we call this clock arms when we do it on a wall, but we're doing it on the floor, so it's even more intense because gravity is working with us. So while you're lying on your belly, let's start with the right arm. Stretch your right arm straight up from your shoulder, palm down, okay? Your left hand, you're gonna place that right in front of your shoulder. So on the inhale, you're gonna start to roll to your right. So I'm pushing my left hand down, and yeah, there's the stretch, right? Start feeling it through the front of that shoulder. This is another one where you might want to take a pillow underneath your right ear to support the head. The head can also fall towards the ground. Now here's your other options. Your right shoulder is out, right? Yeah. You might bend up your left knee towards the ceiling and place the left foot behind the right leg. You might bend up your right knee. You might float the left arm up and bring the left arm behind you, right palm turns up, and interweave all 10 fingers. So you're almost in a chest expansion here on the floor. Take one more big, big breath. Those of you who have the left arm behind you, inhale it up. Exhale, bring that hand down. Roll your body back down onto your belly. Take a break and Makarasana, hands under the forehead. You can also sweep your hands down beside you and just take a prone Shavasana. Wiggle out your hips, relax the buttocks and the belly and the feet. So other side, left arm stretches out straight from your shoulder, palm down, right hand in front of the shoulder. So I'm pushing into my right hand and I'm going to start to roll to my left. So I'm rolling on top of that shoulder. Right knee might bend up, right foot to the floor. Left knee might bend up. Go easy, go slowly. Right arm might reach up and try to fall back. You'd flip your left palm up to the ceiling and maybe take a hold of all 10 fingers there. And you can always go back to another version of the pose, whatever floats your boat. One more big breath. If your right arm is behind you, inhale it up. Exhale, bring it down. Roll yourself back down onto your belly. Pause in whatever prone position feels best for your back. And then slide your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, tuck your tailbone, draw that inner belly away from the ground. And as you inhale, push yourself up. And you can sit back into another child's pose to stretch out, or revisit downward facing dog to stretch out, whatever you want. We'll transition to a seat. So from child's pose, tuck the chin and round up. Dropping over to either hip and bringing your feet forward. So have space behind you because we are going to come back down to our spine now. If you're taking care of that low back, roll to one side, walk yourself down to the ground. If you want to add that little bit of core, plant your feet, open your knees, reach your fingertips forward, you draw the belly in, and you try to slowly come down, one vertebra at a time. Once we all touch down, the head relaxes down, arms re-extend overhead, stretch your heels forward, long body stretch. This time, I want you to try to hook your thumbs overhead so your hands are like in a butterfly position, and then pretend you're trying to pull your hands apart. They're not gonna go anywhere, but that can help splay the shoulder blades. And then switch the thumb grip and do that again. So your thumbs are hooked. You're pretending like you're trying to pull your hands apart, but feel that more through the back of the heart and the shoulder blades. Give me a big breath in, flex those feet, spread those toes. And exhale, release your thumbs, slide your elbows down and out to your cactus arms. Bend your knees up, plant your feet, and open your feet as wide as your yoga mat for windshield wiper pose. So as you exhale, you'll drop your knees to the right. They will not be stacked. Your left side will gently arch up. You'll inhale, knees up, exhale, knees to the left. Your right side arches up. You're stretching out your right side. Elbows out, bent from the shoulders, cactus arms. Your head can turn the opposite direction of your knees. And just continue to drop your knees side to side here, stretching out the waist, the front of the hips and quads again. Balance yourself out, right to left. We'll draw both knees back up, hug those knees in, hands to shins, massage your back. If there's one last pose you feel like you want to do before Shavasana, you may. So happy baby, waterfall pose, maybe revisit bridge pose. Maybe start gathering up your goodies for Shavasana. Anything you feel like you want to do. You can do another spinal twist. So if you've done another pose that was asymmetrical, just make sure you're balanced side to side. And then I'm going to have us start to gather up all of our goodies and prepare ourselves for final Shavasana. If you happen to have that chair and you want to do more of a gentle inversion for Shavasana, you can take the chair to the back of your yoga mat. I would suggest putting a blanket or a towel on it so it's a little bit more comfy. And then you can bring your calves up on top of the seat of the chair. You can place a pillow underneath the head and bring your arms out. If you don't have the chair, but you have a pillow, slide that pillow underneath your thigh bones or your knees. Support the head if needed. Adjust the legs, your surroundings. If you have washcloths or eye coverings, it's really beneficial to use those things. You can grab a washcloth as well. Just creating a little bit more additional darkness for the eyes can help the mind calm down and relax. So I'll give you a few moments here to get comfortable with your surroundings and your props. I will then verbally guide us through a portion of our Shavasana, just some guided relaxation. I'll give us a few moments to relax in silence, and I'll bring us out of our Shavasana with my singing bowl today, where we will finish class together. Make all your adjustments in the beginning so that you can find stillness in the end. Let the back of the skull sink into the ground. Let the brain drop to the back of the skull. Let the eyeballs sink into the sockets. Release the tongue into the lower palate and the lower palate to gravity. Let a quality of heaviness come over the whole body. Sinking the weight of the shoulders, the elbows, and the backs of the hands into the ground. Feel the energy at the centers of the palms. Relax the fingertips. Relax the front of the body, the heart, the chest, the belly completely, all of the abdominal muscles and the internal organs. Relax all the way down the back of the body, vertebra by vertebra. Relax the larger muscles of the buttocks, the hips, the tops and backs of the thighs. Feel the weight of the legs, behind the knees, the calves and the heels as they sink into the ground. Relax the soles of the feet and all of the toes. Relax the whole body. Relax the inside of the body. The breath is easy, quiet, and calm. If the mind wanders, gently bring it back to the peaceful breath. And for just one more moment today, we give ourselves permission to let go. Feel a sense of surrender and sink into Shavasana. Slowly coming back to our breath. Breathing life back into the body. Waking up the toes and the fingertips. Little rock of the head. Depending where you are with your props, you can reach your arms overhead back into that long body stretch if you like. Lengthening your right side, lengthening the left side. On the exhale, walk the feet in, hugging knees in to massage our back. Right arm falls beside the head, rolling and pausing on our right hand side, Supta Balasana. Taking a moment to reflect on our practice and maybe setting a positive intention, dedication, or mantra to take with us from our practice into our day. Keeping the eyes soft or closed, left hand pushes down, bringing the body back up to any comfortable seated posture on your floor. Sit up nice and tall through the crown of the head. Be mindful of your surroundings. We'll re-extend our arms out to the side, palms up. Take another big breath in through the nose. Float those arms all the way up to the ceiling. And let's gather up everything we need for the rest of our day. Turn your palms out. Even bigger breath out. Float the arms all the way back down to the ground. And let go of all that other junk we don't need. Let's take one more big breath in to fill ourselves up. Reach those arms up. Palms touch. Exhaling, hands to heart. Humbly bowing the head to the heart to honor and thank ourselves, our bodies, each other, and anyone else that made it possible for us to practice our yoga today together. If you'd like to join me in chanting the Om Shanti mantra, feel free to chant. Deep breath in. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Tat Sat. And I thank each and every one of you so much for your patience, for joining me this morning virtually from your homes or wherever you might be. Thank you, thank you, thank you.